Let's continue the conversation. I'm joined right now by Lieutenant Colonel Hal Kempfer, a former Marine Corps intelligence officer and the CEO of Global Risk Intelligence and Planning. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Adrienne.
Absolutely. North Korea has been pushing buttons for years. Then things seem to cool down, and the world seems to kind of forget how intense this situation could become. Is this situation right now different from times past?
Well, Adrienne, it's a little bit different in that they had an unprecedented number of missile launches, 23 in one day. They've never done that. There's also a maritime border between North and South Korea, which for decades, even though North Korea doesn't officially recognize it, they have been withholding shooting across that border. They crossed that, and that was where you had missiles literally landing right offshore from a South Korean island. And then, of course, the ICBM test, which was a failed test. There was a second stage separation problem, which caused the missile itself to fall into the Sea of Japan. But if it had been successful, it would have gone right over mainland Japan. And that's why you had alarms going off in a lot of major prefectures, not up north in Hokkaido like previous tests, but further south, causing a lot of concern.
How long can the U.S. keep our troops out of these fights? I mean, do you think this could turn into an all-out war between the West, Russia, Iran, North Korea?
Well, I have to tell you, I've been to Korea quite a bit, and I've done a lot of the war games that we're talking about over there. And for decades and decades, we thought that war could break out any moment. It's a tinderbox. However, the conventional forces in Korea are antiquated. The threat of them invading south really started to dissipate in the late 90s as their equipment became older and older. So he's trying to offset that, Kim Jong-un, by this missile program. That's where he has some sort of what he perceives as parity in doing this. And of course, with the nuclear tests to try and balance out the fact that he can't do anything south. But he's very fearful because our new stealth fighter bombers aren't being able, at least reportedly, aren't being able to pick up very well on their air defense system. So he's very fearful of what he calls a decapitation strike, that stealth bombers could go in there and hit North Korea.
Lieutenant Colonel Kempfer, do you think North Korea and Iran, both of whom have nuclear programs, feel more emboldened to behave aggressively in light of recent comments from Russian officials about using nuclear weapons?
Well, they've been working very closely together, moving missiles back and forth clandestinely for quite some time. So the cooperation is there. There's a lot of speculation on just how close the nuclear programs are in terms of sharing information between them. But there is a kind of a new alignment coming up between Russia, Iran, which is shipping a lot of drones and other systems up to Russia, the North Korean connection. So you're seeing this little triumvirate. And then, of course, China is right there. And China is an ally of Russia. China is a big ally of North Korea. So there is a little bit of a reconfiguration going on in the world. We'll see how the sanctions regime against not just North Korea, but all these other countries is going to work in concert to stop this expansion, if you will.
Lieutenant Kempfer, thank you so much for being with us. Lieutenant Colonel, pardon me. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Adrienne.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.